Are you looking for a really awesome and amazing graphic designer? How about an illustrator or a photographer? This is Rainey Roberts, and I wanted to tell you how you can get my designer, illustrator husband, Scotty Roberts, to work for you on your project. Do you have an awesome self-published book but no cover, or even worse, a cover that really sucks? Do you need a kick-ass logo for your company or some f***ing awesome graphic designs for your ads or website? Then get in touch with my husband for the best f***ing awesome kick-ass design and illustration. He knows his stuff, and he's been at this for more years than I've been alive. Go to ScottAllenRoberts.com. That's Scott with 2 T's, ALANROBERTS.com to take a look at his online portfolio of work, or call 651-468-8115. Now go out and kick some ass with some kick-ass graphic design.
Hire my dad, so he can take me to Disneyland.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent Talk.
Hey folks, happy Thursday night. It's going to be one of those evenings. Hi, Bree.
Hi, Scotty.
How you doing? So, in the absence of Rainey, I have a surrogate, but her husband's here, so we have to behave. And what an auspicious way to start the program, eh? So, happy, boy, it sounded Canadian there, eh?
Yeah.
And so, welcome to the show. It's Thursday night. You're watching my program, the Intrepid radio program, right here on the Odyssey Radio Network. That's ODYSY1.com. Come on over and see all the goodness that's Odyssey Radio. You can also check out their schedule, see all the other shows that are on there, and all the times throughout the day where you can hear rebroadcasts of this show. And of course, if you're here, you know you're on the YouTube channel, but if you're watching this through another source or for future reference, the YouTube channel is youtube.com/Mr. Scotty Roberts. And you know what? You can go down here. Oh, it's over here, actually, I think. Hit the join link, and you can find out a way to become a member of this channel. And so I want to welcome live in the studio audience, we've got Bree and John, or as John would prefer, John and Bree. These are our neighbors, and they've been hanging with us most of the day today as Rainey's doing her garage sale and prepping everything for moving. And so they've been back and forth, and Bree's been a big help today, and so is John.
Oh, thanks,
So,
Scotty.
hey, you're welcome.
Way to just throw me in right at the end.
Yeah, I had to throw John. I'm John, too. So, I will never, oh, wait, damn it, said Doug Stack. I will never join. Oh, yeah, sorry, Doug, you're already a member. See that little orange circle by Doug's name and all the orange circles going up, except for Field Guy. They're all members. It's okay, Field Guy. It's okay. I won't take it personally. And so now, by the way, when you become a member of this channel, it gets you a couple of extra premiums. And but the show is always free. There's no charge for that. All this is you saying, hey, I'm going to throw in either $2, $5, or $15 a month to help support the show. That's all it does. And I appreciate that for those of you who've done that. He's poor. Sorry. Yeah, he's selling women's shoes.
Hi, Barbie D.
Hey, Barbie D.
How's it going?
Good to see you. Glad you are here tonight. You were here bright and early, getting the good seats. And did I see Scott Allen? Yes, I did. Hey, Scott Allen. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well tonight. And we got Field Guy. We've got Doug Stack. And what was that? Doug Stack says, wait, Field Guy, got a job now. He must join, right? Meow. There it is. So, yeah, if you can't afford that $2 a month, I'm sure Doug will pay it for you, Field Guy. It's just a joke. So it's not about handouts here. It's if you want to become a member, you can. You don't want to, you don't have to. Oh, and now here's Rainey as well. Let's squeeze Rainey.
You have a scared child the fire detectors were chirping.
I'm
And
on radio.
Yeah.
She couldn't come and whisper that or pass him a note.
No, there's
Anything
no
like
notes. I'm just saying it straight out there.
So,
Your child is scared, yelling in the driveway for Mom and Dad.
so John, you can go take care of your stuff. Bree can stay here.
You can reach them better anyways, babe. She's standing out in the driveway with Ellie. Of course.
There you go. Okay. So they'll all be back here at some point tonight. So there's Brianna back there. And lest you think this show doesn't get into anything substantive, we do. And so if you happen to be here tonight and this is the first time you're viewing this, just because you're not in the chat room doesn't mean you're not here. And so you can join the chat room with us. And where are you? There you are.
Sorry.
Okay. It's mirror reflection that we see on the monitor. So I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you enjoy the topic we're in the middle of, Jesus, Potter, Harry, Christ. And if you remember, this is a book that was written by Derek Murphy from Holy Blasphemy Press out of Portland, Oregon. And it's Jesus, Potter, Harry, Christ, the fascinating parallels between two of the world's most popular literary characters. And that's all right. What are you belching back there? Or? You can come up here a little closer. Just roll that little roll cart over. And do you want a stool? There's like yet. 3 stools. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not even my wife. I accidentally brushed fame there. So yeah, you can pull up a stool if you want. And so we're going to talk about this and what we've been talking. Hi. See, I don't know where to put my hands. When Rainey sits on my lap, my hands automatically go places. See, with Bree, I got to be very careful. Otherwise, if she was Rainey, I'd do this, but I can't do that. So I hope everything's okay. Yeah, Rainey's out there with John. They're taking care of children at the moment, and your face is partially hidden by the ads over here. So if you want to move a little closer, that's what I always tell her. Just move a little closer. So they're just hanging out with us. So they're going to hang in here while we do the radio show, at least for part of the night. And this is the beauty of this show. You're seeing, like I have said, this radio show, this is my memoirs, my journals. Everything I believe, everything I talk about it's all expressed here on the show. You also get the fun of my family life, what it's like to be married to Rainey, what it's like to have neighbors like John and Bree. You get to see my kids and stuff. And I know we've had some critics of the show who've said I should lose the family element, but for me, that's part of what I do. This is my show. And so we try to mix all this fun up with when I have friends over like Uncle Dave Potter, he'll also come in and hop on the show. Now we got it going here.
I need to run to the store. Do you have the keys in your pocket?
I do.
May I have them?
And for our next trick on the radio,
interrupting wife.
Keys.
Knock, knock.
So, well, come over and say hi at least while you're here.
Interrupting wife.
Interrupting wife. Come over here quick. Quick and say hi.
Say hi.
Quick and say hi.
Oh, I ran over my toe. Quick and hi.
Oh, ouch. There she is.
Hi.
So.
And Ellie.
And there's Ellie. So there's half of everybody I know is right here. So.
Your face is really dirty.
So you go do your thing.
Oh, you got skeeter bites all over your head. That's my butt.
Oh! It's so automatic, I didn't even think about it. I always, thank you, honey.
Whoa.
Thank you. So, whenever Rainey's standing in here and she's talking and things like that, I put my arm around her and I always
butt touching.
Butt touch her. And now Bree's standing here and I'm talking and I just started rubbing Bree's derriere and sorry about that. I'm
You're a prevert.
Only slightly.
Yeah.
I'm only slightly embarrassed.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. There you go.
You're like, man.
So sorry about that, guys. And if this offends anybody here, I'm sorry, but not really. I'm sorry, but I make no apologies. This is what life is like here.
Jesus, field guy.
Let's see. Hold on. What do you need? Preparation H, field guy? You need some Prep H. Buy some, please. Now, by the way, I mentioned this, a mere mention of it last night. Russ Hesledge, the owner of Odyssey Radio, said to me a couple of days ago, early in the morning, he says, you know what? We ought to start up another show on the network and base it on the old men show. And you remember when I talked about that was Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla. That show was on what, 25 years ago? And they drank beer on the show. They talked about guy stuff, and it was girls on trampolines was their big thing. And now we have a segment of girls on trampolines. There you go. I think Rainey and Bree could fill that slot pretty well. So we'll try not to overdo that kind of talk here. But as you know, this is life.
No, the husband's back.
Oh, quick.
Scotty, stop.
Stop now.
That's all right. I heard what happened.
Oh, it was a great show. Yeah.
Payback. So it's okay.
I got to tell you, yeah, you got payback. I was, when Rainey stands in here and does radio with me, I always put my arm around her and I always rub her butt a little bit, touch her butt and stuff. And so Rainey's in here, we're talking, and Bree's standing close to me, and I put my arm around her and I'm rubbing her butt up, and then she goes, hey, that's my butt. And I went, oh my God. So guys, sorry about that. I hope you can all get a laugh out of that. And while we're going to take this show to serious dimensions tonight in some of the things we're doing, I see, I don't think I have any moderators in here tonight because I'm seeing unapproved rich life of somebody's calling in. So I'm going to bring him in. I don't know if I recognize who this is. Hey, how you doing? Rich life.
And it's just discriminatory that that man had to stalk me on Facebook, which I have it all courted out. My lawyer is a judge. Oh yeah, I'm 51 years old. I'm on disability. I have health problems, and it is against the law for somebody to come at somebody, especially a man that's on disability, handicap, and this person came at me negative and slandered my name and basically told lies on me.
That's sad news. What did you do about it? Oh, he's gone. I'm not sure why. Don't know where he went. Sorry, rich life of road trips. I lost you there. Don't know what happened.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
I want to explain something to y'all.
Okay,
Just
explain
like
it to
the
me.
lady was talking about in the thing, the Chamber of Commerce doesn't have no channels. They don't have no Facebook pages. They may be on the rights to it, but I view, if you can see something, you can videotape it, you can photograph it. It's public acknowledgement.
Sure.
Anybody that can photocopy something, if you go out in public and you do a video and put it on YouTube, it is within the law.
Okay.
You don't have to ask nobody's permission to photo, video, or nothing in public. A lot of people don't know this. Photography and video.
I'm a big supporter of photography. I lost your sound again, so I'm going to kick you out of the studio. Thanks for calling in, Road Trip, Rich Life Road Trip. Appreciate talking to you. I don't know where that was going or what prompted that, but thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Let's see. Danny D is here. Good to see you, Danny D. Glad to have you in the show over in the chat room. Steph Cuervo Queen has entered the room. Good to see you, Steph. And who else have we got? Anybody know Rich Life Road Trip?
Rich life.
Anybody out there?
Road trip.
Of Road Trip? I didn't know who that was. Well, that's the risk you take when you put the link to call in out there in public. So,
Excuse me.
seriously.
Stay classy, my friend.
Stay classy. Well, that was Brianna. And for those of you who don't recognize the other two in here, John's kind of hiding behind the ad
Oh,
blocks.
sorry.
And John and Bree, our neighbors, they've been hanging here pretty much all day. And so it's been a fun day. And so thank you for the gaseous anomaly.
No problem.
That's
I'll
pretty
be
good.
here all night.
See, now if you
Glad
were
it
a
came out
guy,
this side.
if you were a guy, you'd be going, "Ugh."
Yeah.
So everybody got to partake of it. So let's see. Did you say that was Field Guy? I think that was Sam Roberts.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was Sam Roberts.
I think he had the wrong number.
Oh, he might have had the wrong. I don't know. You have to come into this show to actually get the link to call into the studio. So that didn't come in through the phone. If that wasn't a troll, then I'm the Queen of England, says Field Guy. Let's see. What do we got here? Bree. Burps more manly than Field Guy. Yeah, she brings them up pretty well. And so Bree is probably still tasting that, says Steele. Good to see you, Randall. Glad to have you in here. Brianna's probably still tasting that, he says.
The Field Guy's response.
Oh, Field Guys, I don't burp. So you can see we're off to a rollicking start tonight. I hope you all have your thinking caps on so we can talk about the comparatives between Harry Potter and Jesus Christ as we get into that topic tonight. But since these guys are here, I got to entertain them. So
You act like you're entertaining.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, Fieldy, I don't think he does, Steph. I just don't think he does. So anyway, to everybody who's coming in, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here tonight. If you're all sitting out in the wings, you can come on into the chat room. Make yourself known. Danny D, I'm not sure if I recognize who you are. I don't know if I've talked to you before or not. Sorry if I have and I've forgotten it, but welcome to the show. I don't know if you're first time in the chat room, but Doug Stack said it's Rocky Stucci. No, I don't think that was Rocky Stucci. That didn't have enough rockiness to the voice. He could have put somebody up to that. I don't know. There was the Bigfoot picture in the background. So anyway, there it is. So let's see. Why are my emails? Oh, here's Field Guy. Let's bring in Field Guy. Let's see what Field Guy has to say. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
Hey, you sound mysteriously like Road Tripper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that wasn't me.
It must have been the accent.
No, that was probably a troll you had. They love to do that on YouTube. They'll go into random streams and just talk about stupid nonsense.
Well, it was.
Nobody knows who that was.
It was silly. I don't want to offend him if he was being sincere. But you're welcome to. If I put out the call link, people can call in. So Ryan Gale says I would call in and belch for you, but my boy is sleeping in the next room. Yeah, Ryan Gale, I think, can say the Declaration of Independence while belching. So I've heard it on good authority anyway. And Steph says, who did I miss? Steph, you didn't see the caller who just called in before Field Guy?
Some dude was talking about blah, 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 blah. I don't know.
And taking videos and getting pulled over or something. And
that had to be a troll because nobody knows who that was. I mean,
and that's okay. You know what? It's okay. It's entertaining. So there you go. Let's see. Let's see. What do we got here? Maybe a partial brunette, Steph?
They're talking about the emojis.
Oh, the emojis. Gotcha. You're blonde, aren't you? I mean, real blonde?
Yeah.
Too many emojis out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Too many.
My hair used to be like yours.
Oh,
All white and everything.
all white and everything. My hair used to be like John's, all kind of light brown and everything.
He's got some gray
That's
in there.
the Irish heritage.
Oh, yeah. No, see, I got the red beard, too. Sam's got the red beard.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
all
used
know
to have
my...
a red beard. Now it's mostly gray.
It's getting there. Well, you're the 40-year-old virgin, so you're starting to get the white beard. So
Got a little bit of white. Yep. Got a little bit of white here, there.
I remember the first gray flecks I saw in my temples. I was 26 years old. So,
That's young.
pardon me.
That's really young to get gray.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a white hair until about 2 years ago.
And I didn't have white temples. I just had one or two little white hairs that popped up. And it was a woman was looking at. She says, "Turn your head to the side." She goes, "You got a white hair." Bink, and she pulled it. I'm like, "Oh." So there you go. And then somewhere along the way, it just turned all white. I don't know why. I'm not that old.
It's the
Not old enough
ghost.
to have white hair.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson.
Who's Kelly Clarkson?
Doug.
I don't know. She does a talk show now.
Oh yeah, Kelly Clarkson.
Nobody. She sits there and she talks about I don't know what, and then they pay her $1 million trillion. I don't know.
See, I could talk about absolutely nothing for 2 hours a day on this show, and nobody pays me any money for that, though. In the millions, anyway.
I
You
think
do that with me every time I come over.
I do that with John all the time. You know what John makes happen? Every time he stops over, he'll come over. We're sitting on the patio, and I go, not 7, 8, 10 minutes in, John. I said, "I hate to tell you this, buddy. I gotta go poop." And I think I started giving him a complex because it was every time he came over, and so I'm not quite sure why that happened that way. I think he just always hit me at that coffee time of the morning, so where it started to sink in.
Well, if you're ever constipated, shoot me your address.
There it is.
I'll stop by.
He'll stop by for coffee. So for the 40-year-old virgin, when he has the waxing.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Kelly Clarkson.
I never did watch that movie. So
I saw it, but I didn't see it. I was kind of
gotta
in and
go.
out of it.
He's got to go.
Field guy's got to go because he's
Yeah.
never seen it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't watch that many
Nadia?
movies.
You keep putting those in the way. So,
I don't watch too many movies anymore.
oh, really? What do you do with all your time?
I don't have any time now.
Well, there it is.
Before I did, but no, there's only one movie I plan on watching in the near future when they make the new Jackass movie.
You know, my kids started watching that, and I said, no.
I got them all on DVD somewhere.
Yeah. Not my favorite kind of movies. So,
What's
but
the
that's
last
okay.
one?
It made me laugh, but in certain parts. And I thought, you guys are just idiots, but they're
They're
making
rich idiots.
decent money doing it. I don't know if they're rich or not.
Oh, they are.
So off of I suppose off of those movies, yeah. Johnny Knoxville was rich.
Well, Knoxville and Steve-O are. Steve-O does a
he did.
YouTube
And
all
white
every
hair.
day.
And Bam Margera, he had shows before
Oh,
that.
he got real fat.
And
Bam Margera got fired.
I don't know the guys on that
He
show.
threatened everyone on the Jackass cast, and they
no
put a restraining order against him.
reference.
Now, Bam Margera is trying to make his own movie. He's fundraising to make his own Jackass movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's he going to call it, Jackassier? I mean,
Ever since Ryan Dunn passed away like 10 years ago, he just lost. Like he got divorced from his wife, and his dad was like 300 plus pounds, so he ballooned like that. And
oh my.
he's mentally crazy now. He goes on Twitter and he says weird stuff. He's like, I don't like you people. Send me money.
Yeah.
He's
I don't know.
He's a little weird.
I don't know. I should try that sometime. I don't like any of you, but send me your money.
I want money. He needs $12 million to make a movie.
Wow. Well,
I can make
that movie for half that.
Yes, please. Someone out there give me $12 million, and I guarantee you could be in my movie. I have no idea what it's about, but I'll make it. There it is. I will make one.
Well, Field Guy, I am going to let you go into the ether. Thank you for calling in, brother. We'll pick up that phone call again. Not later tonight, but maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm off tomorrow, so.
All right. No shoes tomorrow. All right. Good night, brother. All right. So there was Field Guy, Jack Arce, A-R-S-E. There it is. Thanks, Ryan Gale, for the proper British pronunciation. And
no, that's going to be Bam Margera's version.
What are you looking at?
That's just for you.
Don't. I'm delicate. I'm a delicate flower.
Here, we'll put it
Was that one of mine?
No.
Oh, that's one of yours?
Yeah.
You've wrapped your blonde hair around my ear. That'll be good.
You should see our shower.
I have.
Sticks to the wall.
Let that one go. So anyway, what's going on with everybody tonight? I see we have the room has got some people coming in. I think we've said hey to everybody. Matthew Sainsbury, good to see you. Glad you made it in. Ryan Gale, of course. I think I said hi while talking to you. So Michelle Kenham Free is here. Welcome, Michelle. I saw you earlier, but I'm just having a chance to say hello. I'm glad you're here tonight. And, of course, Randall is here. Steele. And he said, rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. There it is, brother. And you're as old as I am, I think. Well, not quite. I don't think you're quite as old as me. But we used to say that in high school. So you must be dredging up some memories, just like I have to do sometimes. Let's see. Steph says, and my deli is different too. Which deli would that be? The restaurant or the new deli? So, anyway.
Doug.
So,
If you scroll all the way at the bottom.
let's see. Is Bree?
Oh, where is it?
Where did that go?
There.
Yeah, Doug, she is. She is. No, she's pulling her blonde hairs off of her and putting them on my back and on my hair and stuff like that. So, I don't think Rainey would be moved by that. She goes, oh, whatever. So, but
My turn.
there it is. That might surprise Rainey. So let's see. It's been a good night so far. It's been a full night so far. We're halfway through the show already. We've got John and Bree on the show. Rainey came and said hi. I nestled my face into Bree's breasts at the beginning of the show in a polite, gentlemanly way. I got to touch her butt, thinking it was Rainey's, so it wasn't like a ha, I touched it. It was a like, hi, how you doing kind of touch. And then so most of you here saw that. So it's been a full night and I've lived a full life. So I think I can die now. Wait, what did Scott Allen say? What'd you say, Scott Allen?
Will there be titties in
a car chase in the movie? There just might be. If I had a $6 million budget, I think we could work those in. In 5 years, I will be rich, says Field Guy. I don't doubt you, brother. Just remember me. I'll be older then. And Bree. So, let's see. Matthew says, I was watching Clark Kent in Smallville, trying to find his heritage in a Native American cave. I didn't see that one. Smallville. I didn't watch much of Smallville. I was more my era when I was a younger man was Lois and Clark. You remember that series? Did you guys ever see that one? With what's his name and what's her name?
That one guy
Both
and that
very
one
famous.
girl with the faces.
With the faces?
Yeah.
The one guy and the one girl with the faces.
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking
Terry
about?
Hatcher was her name. And why can't Greg something was his name? He was wasn't he an Olympic swimmer or something before he became an actor? Something like that.
I don't know.
So
Dean Cain.
Oh, Dean Cain. That's it. Yep. And I got to tell you, I really liked for Supermans and remakes of Supermans, I really like Henry Cavill as Superman. I really liked the first movie he did. What was it called? Man of Steel? Yeah. I think that was it. Where they go into his youth, and that's where Kevin Costner played his father, and Diane, I can't think of her last name, played his mother. Who played Lois Lane in that one? I can't think of who that was. If Audrey was here, she'd know all the answers to these. Not Laginus, Doug Stack. I had the wrong guy in mind. So, but I really liked Man of Steel. So if you haven't seen that, it's well worth seeing. It was well done, I thought.
Uncle Dave's here.
Uncle Dave. Hey, everyone. John and Brianna, he says. Good to see you.
Dave.
And Wesley Curry. Welcome, Wesley. Good to see you, brother. Isaiah, for behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. Amen, brother. Thank you for that. That's probably a good thing to say right now on this show. Christopher Reeves has a scene in it as a scientist. I didn't know that.
Uh-oh.
See, this is a little bit... Diane Sawyer. No, not Diane Sawyer. She's the newswoman, the news anchor. Diane Lane. No. Lang. Played Lois Lane. Not Caitlyn Jenner. Oh, Caitlyn Jenner. Yeah. There you go, Doug Stack. Man of Steel. Woman of Steel. So, anyway, there we go with all that. There. We're getting some of that stuff out of the way. How's that? So tonight, I had promised last night that we would get back into topic. What are you doing down there?
Sorry.
Somebody was doing something to my leg.
No comment.
That's a Brianna thing. What are you doing down there?
Your lighter was sticking.
Oh. Thank you. Out of my pocket. So I think we scared the other neighbor tonight a little bit, maybe. We were all talking. We were all joking around.
I don't think so.
You know, when adults, when you all get together and you talk and you're good friends and it gets, language gets naughty and topics get naughty and bawdy. And yeah, she threw out a couple of Effenheimers, so I don't think she had a
She's a
big
bartender.
problem.
I don't think she's too worried about
probably
it.
not too worried about it. So let's see.
Don't mind me. I'm just dying back here.
She was in Unfaithful, Richard Gere, and Streets of Fire.
No, sorry, Doug.
Not sure.
Not this time.
They say Superman was used to battle against the Klan, says Matthew Sainsbury. Brian Parker, Tactical Sovereignty. Good to see you, brother. Had to throw a Jenner in there. Yeah, exactly.
I know.
And it's good to see you, Brian. Glad that you came in. And we're doing kind of a little free-for-all here tonight with friends who have been here all day and just kind of stopped in as we started. So I don't know if...
David Potter's comment there.
Did you check the yes box to that one too, Scotty? Yes, I did. By the way, in case you don't know what Uncle Dave is talking about, this is what Rainey gave me last night. She passed out a note on me, and I had to check a box. So there you go.
Check yes or no.
Check yes or no here. Wesley Curry, in that day of the Lord. Really?
Oh my God.
Have you no restraint, woman?
I've been holding that back for a while.
I guess she does have restraint.
Just not long enough.
At least
In
it's
that
at
day,
it.
the Lord with his sword and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Yes, he will. Thank you, Wesley. It's good stuff. It's great Old Testament. And let's see what else we got going on here. That's steel. That's not his lighter. I need someone to slay my dragon.
I'm out.
Woo! Boy, you guys. The Leviathan, the piercing serpent is the Chinese military, which will have invaded USA through California. You know, we've wondered about that. We've speculated about things eschatological many times. And back when I was a kid in the 70s, we used to think, China was Gog from Magog. And that's all biblical prophecy stuff. So if you don't know what that is, look it up. Let's see. What do we got here? Barbie D says, Steel, TMI for me to read. Your delicate ears, Barbie D. I know what you mean. Mine too. I'm a delicate flower. And so, pirate, that's all I has to say. There's Uncle Dave. Pirate, that's all I has to say. Arr. And so, I wish you should be here doing pirate poetry, Dave. I remember pirate poet.
That was a hiccup.
You are out of control, young lady.
You're fired.
So, Steph Curry said, Scotty, notice I'm being good. Yeah, I see that little halo there, Steph. That's okay. You don't have to be good. I want everybody to enjoy themselves tonight. So when you come here, I come here to share information with you, share my life with you, my friends with you, my family with you, and have fun with everybody. So that's why we're all here. So if you're having fun, I'm having fun. And Steph, you don't have to be so good. Wesley Curry says, the earth shall disclose her blood, is the molten lava which shall destroy all of California, and all that live for their Lord Jesus shall cast his judgment upon them. Okay. That is an interpretation. That's saying, Wesley, that we know exactly what that prophecy is speaking of. That it's got that Nostradamus edge to it, which is why it's really hard to figure some of that stuff out. So, where's Mr. Finn? Says Scott Allen. I don't know. I have not seen him today. Master Finn is not here. Steele. Damn, I was just thinking about moving to California. Yeah, that would be a rough one. I need to book. How many here would like to hear Uncle Dave Potter come on and deliver his pirate poetry as Captain Morgan? Captain Morgan was his persona out at the festival. One of them, his primary persona. He also played Larry the Gravedigger. And you need to hear Dave doing Larry. So
I can only imagine that.
He would get in so much trouble. And Dave, if you're available now, you need to call in.
Ooh, Steph has a pirate costume.
We need to. Really? Steph? Do you swashbuckle? There is the link, by the way, if you would like to call into the studio tonight, Uncle Dave, or anybody. And what was that in September?
Up, down.
In September, we have Talk Like a Pirate Day. That could be the day. Yeah, we could do that. You should call in as Larry one of these days too. You know what was great about his character Larry? Dave played this. He played the Earl of Gordon, not Ramsay. Gordon. What was your Earl's name?
Jeff
again. Jeff Gordon. He played an Earl, well decorated, all the medals and all the capes and swords and all of that. He played primarily Captain Morgan, the pirate. And then he played Larry, the Gravedigger. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear Dave doing Larry. Thank you, Steele. So, but they played these grimy characters that had a little cart and shovels, and Larry was like the village idiot who was a gravedigger with the other guy. I can't remember the Mike, but I don't remember his character name. No. I played with them out on the street out there. So, but man, Dave could bring the house down doing that. So, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. Listen to him. So we'll have Dave in here one of these days just for fun to do that. How many of you in the last 20 minutes, 19 minutes, would like to get into the topic for tonight? Because we can do that. We can talk about that.
I can leave.
You can leave.
So I'm not
distracting me. Yeah. You don't distract me like Rainey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't take that personally.
I could step over here and flash you.
You could. She could step. Why don't you step over there and flash me, and let's see if it's anything. If it does anything to me like what Rainey does.
Yeah, here. I'll stand right here.
You're in the way, John. You're in the way. That's a hot gray undershirt. Nice.
You were supposed to go.
I thought you were building up to something there. So, yeah, folks.
It's supposed to be fake it till you make it.
Rainy wins, as far as I'm concerned. No offense.
That was my nice gray shirt.
That was your nice gray shirt. Your nice gray undershirt. Yeah. So, and I'm okay with that. So Steele says, okay. What topic? We haven't been talking on topic. Not at all tonight. When I say getting back to the topic, I mean that we were on like 3 nights ago. So I think we can do that. We've got about 20 good minutes left.
All right.
On this show.
We're out of here.
John and Bree, see you guys.
We'll see
Bye. I can hug you. I don't like to hug John. So, all right.
What?
Yeah, that was his hand. Wait for them to make their exit.
My shoe just squeaked.
Oh, that's what that was.
Excuse me.
Squeak. All right.
I just did it again. I'm not farting, I promise.
Yeah, she promises. All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
I'll probably be outside in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
25 minutes. So
We'll be here.
make yourself, they'll still be here.
Yeah.
So, all right, folks. Little fun and frivolity on the show tonight. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's a little comic relief for your day. And sometimes I like to get really serious on this show, but it's all the people around me that prevent that from happening. Nobody's in here, so the joke fell flat. But yeah, there is a topic, a hot topic, Brian Parker. We're talking Jesus Potter, Harry Christ. And this is that topic where the author of this book is making a comparison between Harry Potter and Jesus Christ by saying that he believes Harry Potter is a literary Christ type that's out there, and how it all started when the books were coming out, and then the movies started coming out. The whole Christian community, the fundamentalists, were up in arms that Harry Potter was a gateway drug for the occult, to teach your children how to become Satanists and occultists by teaching them that magic is okay. And we went through some of that. And the big deal was with the Christian responses to Harry Potter. And this is where we kind of left off. We were talking about trying to set the stage, because that all flipped later on. And I'll tell you why. It was when they started making the comparisons to a Christ figure. Yeah, Barbie D, you are absolutely right. We need comic relief these days. Xanax and Cannabis Hour. Doug, that's almost a name for a good show. Well, Matthew, you know what I'm talking about. A messianic type is what that is. Anointed one. Yeah, that's what Christ means in Greek. But Christ is also the Hellenized version of Messiah, or the kinsman redeemer, and all of that, even though those are different words. So the messianic presence. And so it's tempting to simply dismiss or discredit all the reactions the Christian community has given as fundamentally misinformed or baseless. But there's a very real anti-Harry Potter sentiment among conservative Christian churches. And it's got a biblical foundation. Did you know that? Thus, it's important to look a little more deeply into the issue and understand what the religious debate against Harry Potter is all about. Now, this isn't a series I'm doing that's an apologetic on Harry Potter. It's a series that's really big, and it's going to take us maybe a couple of weeks to get through all this. At the rate we're going, maybe 7 weeks. But we're trying to show how Harry Potter became that literary character that took on a Christ-like or a messianic type because he was as much a literary celebrity as Jesus was a literary celebrity and a possible historical celebrity. And I happen to think that there was an historical basis for him. And so it's important to look into the issue and understand what the religious debate against Harry Potter is all about. And an esteemed author, Judy Blume, pointed out it would be a mistake to overlook the real impetus behind the protests. And she said this, the real danger, now, by the way, this is from the conservative Christian point of view, the fundamentalist point of view. The real danger is not in the books, but in laughing off those who would ban them. The protests against Harry Potter follow a tradition that's been growing since the early 1980s and often leaves school principals trembling with fear that is then passed down to teachers and librarians. What began with the religious right has spread to the politically correct. And now the gate is open. You think we have cancel culture now? Christians were at this long before our current culture was. And now the gate is open so wide that some parents believe, this is still this author, Judy Blume. Now the gate's open so wide that some parents believe they have the right to demand immediate removal of any book for any reason from any school or classroom libraries. The list of gifted teachers and librarians who find their jobs in jeopardy for defending their students' right to read, to imagine, to question, grows every year. I knew this was coming, she said. The only surprise is that it took so long. As long as it took for the zealots who claim they're protecting children from evil, and evil can be found lurking everywhere these days, to discover that children actually like these books. If children are excited about a book, it must be suspect. Now, that kind of goes along the same lines, is that sex isn't a sin if you don't enjoy it. Kind of thinking that was here hundreds of years ago. Puritanical thinking. So Brian Parker says John Hagee would preach against John Hagee. There you go. And if you don't know who John Hagee is, look him up. He spoke against Harry Potter. And so one of those pastors, and not a televangelist, but close enough. And so at the same time, from a Christian perspective, the issue is very clear. The Bible explicitly forbids witchcraft. The command, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, of Exodus 22:18, which was used to justify the persecution of women during the Inquisition and later during the Salem witch trials, is also cited against Harry Potter. The problem with that passage, and we've talked about this before, is that in the Hebrew, there were several different words that could be translated into English as witch. And what the verse actually says in Exodus 22:18, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, meaning don't allow a witch to live. That's not everything it's saying. The implication with the language is, do not allow an evil sorcerer who casts spells to do harm on people live amongst you in your communities. Oust them. That's what the verse was really all about. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Because a witch in the Hebrew language, you had a different word for the herbalist, a different word for the physician who mixed herbs to heal people, a different one for the one who would prognosticate the future, or a tarot reader, if you will, even though tarot didn't exist back in biblical days, you know what I mean? A different one for the sorcerers who would cast spells to do harm. And all of these things were different words for witch in the Old Testament. And what did Brian say? I'm looking. I don't see it. Brian Parker. Oh, John Hagee would preach against John Hagee. Yeah. So the other biblical passage quoted often in arguments against the Harry Potter series is from the book of Deuteronomy, part of the Pentateuch, one of the books of Moses. There must never be anyone among you who makes his son or daughter pass through the fire of sacrifice, who practices divination, who is a soothsayer, an augurer, or sorcerer, weaver of spells, consulter of ghosts or of mediums, or a necromancer. That's Deuteronomy 18, 10 through 22. Now, while this passage clearly forbids believers to practice in sorcery ambiguity remains in it. It's reading about witchcraft the same as practicing it, and therefore also banned. As Connie Neal clarified in What's a Christian to Do with Harry Potter? She said, reading Harry Potter is a disputable matter because we're not debating whether it's okay for Christians to practice witchcraft or spells. The Christian position on that is clear. We agree that we should never participate in or practice anything listed in Deuteronomy 18:9 through 14. But reading Harry Potter is not the same as practicing witchcraft, or even, as some assert, promoting it. However, some can take it to mean just that. Therein lies the disputable part of these issues that Christians debate in earnest. And I'll tell you something, as big of fans and readers of Harry Potter as my older twin daughters were and are, I don't think they've ever drifted into the occult, Satanism, or even casting spells for that matter. So I've done some of that, but not Satanism. So that's a whole nother topic that we'll talk about one of these days to a little more of a degree. But to a skeptical reader, of Harry Potter who doesn't believe in magic, this is a controversy that might seem absolutely exasperating, but the root of the issue is that Christians do believe in a supernatural world, and hence the possibilities of magic, and also that the Bible outlines appropriate responses to that world, if you're going to live within the dictates of that faith. Now remember, this was also Levitical law. Those aren't repeated in the New Testament under the New Covenant. This is all old Levitical law under the laws of Moses. And this was a time where you also, in order to be right with God, you didn't just pray, you had to bring a lamb once a year to the temple in Jerusalem and sacrifice it and spill its blood to act as a covering and atonement for sin. So a literal reading of the Bible makes it clear that magic, spellcasting, divination, and communion with spirits are not only real, but also very dangerous. The fears of children reading the Harry Potter books and playing around with make-believe spells and magic may end up being drawn toward more occult practices later on, or even accidentally contacting real evil spirits. I think you'd have more chance of doing that by doing some of the spells you see in the show Supernatural than you would by watching Harry Potter. Let's see. Steele says, I'm not a fan of witches. What did I miss there? Where'd it go? I approved it. Something wouldn't let that approve. So I had to approve it, and now it jumped up somewhere else. I don't know where it went. Sorry about that. So there goes the politicians, he says. Yes. The Hebrew definition of witch is very interesting. One who manipulates people through deception, Brian Parker tells us. And wow, that sounds like politicians. Joe Biden is rolling over in his grave, says Doug Stack. And so that discussion goes on. As Larry would say, says Dave Potter, it's hard to light a witch after she's been dunked. Ain't that the truth? It ain't hard to... I'm just going to do my version of Larry. Dave will do it right. Ain't hard to light a witch after you've dunked her. So anyway, Dave will do much more justice to that than I did. And so, although these biblical prohibitions might be the root of the criticisms from the fundamentalist community made against Harry Potter, as J.K. Rowling's novels grew in popularity, Christians opposed to Harry Potter were searching for further ways to demonstrate the potential dangers of the books for children. And the following is a summary of some of the early Christian responses to the Harry Potter series. It should be noted that critics who are against the reading of Harry Potter and any of the books in the series have rarely read the books themselves. This means that their information about the novels comes only from second or third place testimonies, book jackets, literature reviews, and conjecture. Moreover, many of the following responses were formulated only after the second or third Harry Potter novel, and are inadequate to deal with the Potter series as a whole. So the idea came about that Harry Potter promotes the idea that magic is just fantasy. Now, I never quite got that out of Harry Potter. I think the whole series was fantasy, but I don't think she was promoting that magic is fantasy. The belief that witches and wizards are harmless because they don't really exist is a dangerous fallacy for Christians who believe that magic and witchcraft are real and condemned by God. And this point is demonstrated admirably by the preface of Michael D. O'Brien's Harry Potter and the Paganization of Culture. It's a book he put out. O'Brien describes how he was inspired to write the book after hearing from 3 independent and unconnected Christian sources whose attempts to read Harry Potter caused them to experience physical nausea. That sounds like the Salem witch trials. I threw up. I got sick. I just couldn't read it. He then claims that when he started publishing, he was cursed by 3 witches whose spells were broken only by his faith in Jesus. Now, I don't want to denigrate anybody's personal faith, and there are issues with their personal faith, but I have a problem with that. Both of the things he said. So the fantastic elements in his account are worth quoting in full. Here's what he had to say in the opening of his book. He said, "The witch's spells against me were utterly terrifying, nearly paralyzing. And only when I cried out in the name of Jesus were the spells broken and pushed back. I had to keep repeating his name to preserve the defense and woke up in a state of terror that did not dissipate in the manner of bad dreams. My wife woke up too and prayed with me. And finally we were able to go back to sleep in peace. In a similar dream the following night, the 3 witches returned, now accompanied by a sorcerer, and once more they cast a hideous spell against me. Again it was repelled by the holy name of Jesus, and also by the prayers of the saints, especially Saint Joseph. A third dream that occurred not long after was the most frightening of all. In it, I had been captured and taken to an isolated house deep in a forest. The building was filled with men and women involved in witchcraft and sorcery. And the walls were built out of gingerbread and cookie. No, I added that. Sorry. Hansel and Gretel. So they were waiting for a man who was their chief sorcerer to arrive. And I was to be the human sacrifice in the night's ritual. When he entered the room, I felt that all hope had been lost. A black dismay filled me, along with terror of a kind I had never before felt. Even then, I was able to whisper the name of Jesus. Instantly, the walls fell backward onto the ground outside the house. The cords that had bound me fell from my wrists and ankles, and I ran for my life. Leaping out of the house, I was astonished to find the entire building surrounded by mighty angels, who by their holy authority had immobilized all of the sorcerers within. I leaped and danced with joy, and realized that I'd been transformed into a child. Jesus appeared in the sky above and began to descend. I continued to dance in jubilation and relief, crying out greetings to him as he arrived. Some fundamentalists would condemn that because dancing's not allowed, by the way. And at which point I woke up, filled with utter joy, and that was the last of the bad dreams. Now, like O'Brien, there are many Christians accept the fact that an invisible spiritual warfare is constantly going on between Jesus and the forces of evil, and live in a world just as incredible as that of Harry Potter. Christians believe this. Another thing that was thrown up after about the 3rd book against Harry Potter is that it makes a distinction between good magic and bad magic. Fans of Harry Potter would probably agree that Harry and his companions are moral characters who use magic for good purposes. It reminds me of Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. Why, if I had this ring, I would use it for good purposes. That's the way it was. But this distinction could lead children, by looking at the characters who opposed Harry, Ron, and Hermione, to their unethical enemies who use magic for evil and selfish purposes. And that distinction could lead children to the conclusion that magic can be good or safe, depending on the moral choices made. A dangerous path for Christians who see all magic for any purpose as unacceptable. Alison Lentini explores this theme in her article, Harry Potter, Occult Cosmology and the Corrupted Imagination. She said in her article, for those who seek conformity with the teachings of the Hebrew Scriptures and the New Testament, safe magic is wishful thinking, intellectual dishonesty, and an invitation to the spiritual devastations that the Hebrew prophets bluntly referred to as harlotry and the New Testament apostles forbade. As such, the safe magic of Harry Potter offers a message that is as morally confusing to a generation of children as the current ideology of safe sex. So that's what she said. Another point, that Harry Potter introduces children to the occult. Wicca or witchcraft, or all equals Satanism and fundamentalism. Or at least that's the connection made on many fundamentalist blogs and websites and pulpits who view the accepted modern-day religion named Wicca as positive proof that New Age ideologies and the contemporary tolerance of pluralism are Satan's ploy to capture the souls of those who wander too far into occult territory. Does any of this start to sound like, remember when we were talking a couple of weeks ago about Christo-paganism and the blending of these two things that have been historically diametrically opposed to each other? And remember we said one of the points of fundamentalism or of religion is when you establish that your way of viewing things in the world is the only way that is acceptable. And you can see with the crowd that was anti-Harry Potter how they held this strict, straight line of why these things are wrong. And although Harry Potter is a fictional character who employs magic to defeat his adversaries, it's not unique in children's literature. He's the most popular manifestation of contemporary society's demand for magic and fantasy, therefore become a primary target of criticism. The threat is voiced clearly by Alan Jacobs in Harry Potter's Magic, which claims such novels could at best encourage children to take a similarly tolerant New Age view of witchcraft, at worst encourage the practice of witchcraft itself. And the overly zealous author of the website Exposing Satanism, who has placed Taoism and Buddhism under the title of false beliefs, gives a stronger response. He said, the whole purpose of these books, these Harry Potter books, is to desensitize readers and introduce them to the occult. What a better way to introduce tolerance and acceptance of what God calls an abomination than in children's books. If you can get them when they're young, then you have them for life. It's the oldest marketing scheme there is. This goes on. I want to finish these points for tonight. The criticism is also that Harry Potter has no moral compass or ethical authority. Another criticism that was raised against the Harry Potter series has been that there's no absolute moral authority. Although there are good characters and bad characters in the book, there's also a lot of moral ambiguity, and there's no supreme authority above them to establish and police universal ethical laws. Moreover, good characters, quote unquote, often behave very poorly. For example, being angry or jealous and all of those kind of character traits. Harry himself often lies and breaks the rules. He's rude toward authority figures and prone to violent encounters with his enemies. So this argument usually goes hand in hand with the defense of other, more Christian works like the C.S. Lewis Chronicles of Narnia or Tolkien's Lord of the Rings trilogy, both of which mostly in account that the authors were practicing Christians, are championed as appropriate books for children, especially Christian children. So as writer Richard A. Benson, I have never heard that tone before on my phone. I don't even know what that is. Richard Baines proclaims, the books clearly present far too much moral subjectivity and patently unbiblical actions to be of any ethical value whatsoever. Lindy Beam agrees in an article about the appropriate Christian response to Harry Potter. She said, the spiritual fault of Harry Potter is not so much that it plays to dark supernatural powers, but that it doesn't acknowledge any supernatural powers or moral authority at all. Rowling doesn't write from the basis of Judeo-Christian ethics, so her characters may do the wrong thing for the right reason, often lying, cheating, breaking the rules in order to save the day. Could you imagine that? Living in a world where, in order to save the day, you might have had to break a rule or tell a lie, but you save everyone in the process? But as a Christian, in these people's camps and way of seeing things, that makes you an immoral person without moral compass. But this argument becomes really weak if we agree that the criticism should be applied to every novel equally and not only to the Harry Potter series. There are very few works of literature out there, folks, in which the protagonist is sin-free and ethically meticulous. And so in response to the argument, Connie Neal points out that the Bible itself is hardly bereft from moral ambiguity itself. It cites a handful of biblical indiscretions worsened by the fact that the characters acted purely out of self-interest. Abraham and Isaac lied about their wives, calling them sisters in order to escape persecution. Jacob and his mother deceived Isaac with an elaborate disguise and lied to cover the deception, and he stole his brother's birthright. Rachel stole her father's idols, hid them, and lied about it. 10 of the patriarchs sold their brother into slavery. She concludes, if we decide that we'll only read stories to kids where those are on the good side, who are on the good side, never do anything wrong, we wouldn't be able to read the Bible to our kids. Look at all the patriarchs. Look at David. That whole series I did on David. How David, what did David do? He had sex with another man's wife. Then he had the man murdered. He took the king's wife, had sex with her, and was on the flee from the king. David did so many unethical, murderous things throughout his career, yet he's called in the Bible the man after God's own heart, the sweet psalmist of Israel. And so you see a lot of this stuff. Hey, Susie Q. Nice to see you at the end of all things here. We're almost done for tonight. They say that Harry Potter also uses satanic symbols. Others have found satanic symbols in the Harry Potter stories. Arguments following this kind of logic mention that the Bible often depicts Satan as being a snake in the Garden of Eden in the Genesis story. And that in book 2 of the Potter series, we discover that Harry has a gift of speaking with snakes, the Chamber of Secrets. This language is called parcel tongue, and it's already openly associated with the dark arts in the series. Harry, however, got this power from the truly evil character Voldemort, and always uses it for the greater good. Another connection is made from the lightning bolt figure on Harry's forehead, the scar, associating lightning with Satan based on the passage, I saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning, Luke 10:18. And noting that the forehead is meant to be the place reserved for the name that God will put on those who love him and serve him. And they will see his face, and his name will be on their foreheads, Revelation 22:4. So some fundamentalists have argued that to put any other mark on your forehead, especially a satanic mark, is a mockery to and of God. And as we've seen, arguments like these, when used in conjunction with Harry Potter, the anti-Potter propaganda and riveting proofs of Harry's satanic influences, stirred up the fury of religious extremists enough to cause public demonstrations, lawsuits, book burning events, and all of those things. And although in today's liberal culture of tolerance, book burning is generally frowned upon, in nearly every case, more liberal members of the community protested these burnings, ashamed that their towns have become harbors for such violent discriminatory practices. The burning of books on witchcraft is a biblically sanctioned practice. The following story is found in the book of Acts of the Apostles, the book written by Luke, who wrote the Gospel of Luke, and it comes right after the Gospels in the New Testament. It says, "And many that believed came and confessed and showed their deeds. Many of them also which used curious arts brought their books together and burned them before all men. And they counted the price of them and found it 50,000 pieces of silver. So mightily grew the word of God and prevailed." That's Acts 19, 18 through 20. And so it has to be pointed out right here that this episode is a bit of ecclesiastical advertising. And rather than denounce witchcraft, it actually acknowledges its power. Early Christian communities believed that Jesus Christ eclipsed all magical spells, not because they weren't real, but because Jesus had a higher magical efficacy than the best alternative methods. And this is why new converts could converge and cast their expensive books into the fire. This isn't the same as burning books about magic simply because they are evil. And, when I was a kid in the late 70s in high school, our church attended some record burning events. And I think they did that only once. Good for them. They pulled away from that. As fundamentalist as they were, and as ironclad, iron bars Christianity as they were, I think they shunned that. Pretty much they didn't want to be part of that. But if you listen to rock music, the devil's music, they had album burnings, LPs, the big old LPs in the late 70s. And they'd all get together and burn them. I remember those days pretty well. And I didn't attend that, and I didn't agree with it. Though I had not developed the sense of the way I believe now, at that point, at 16, 17, 18 years old, I had a problem with it. And I wasn't going to burn my John Denver albums. So now, tomorrow night, we're going to get into the positive Christian responses to Harry Potter, because there were some. Hey, Brianna, good to see you. Glad to see you in the chat room. Queen James, yeah, indeed, Steele. So it'd be interesting. Lewis Boyce says, Revelation, mark of the beast, mark on the hand or the head. Confusing there. Yeah, it is. It's very true. And Dave Potter says, just for the record, I'm totally against anti-Potter propaganda. Thank you, Dave Potter. There you are. And lots of good conversation going on. King James was gay. We all know that. His male favorite, says Matthew Sainsbury, was George Villiers. He said, King James said, Christ has John, I have George. And it's very interesting, the whole thing about John, the beloved disciple. There's some that think that he wasn't a guy at all, that this had to do with Jesus' wife. So we won't go there tonight. That's one of the theories out there. Yeah, exactly. Steele, study the history of King James. You'll find an enormous amount of unethical behavior. Yeah. And King James, by the way, if you didn't make the connection, folks, King James, the patron of the King James Bible, which we have the KJV, the King James Bible, the 1611 version. And just to put that in perspective, King James being the son of Mary, Queen of Scots, who had the long rivalry with Elizabeth I of England, and she was beheaded finally after 20 years of house arrest. And it was her son, after the death of Elizabeth, that became the king of unified England. So England and Ireland and Scotland. So I'm in your kitchen waiting for you, Mr. Roberts, says Brianna Learman. Well, folks, I think I have some stuff to go do. Guys, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for giving me your time. I hope this stuff is fun to listen to, provokes conversation, makes you think about it. Because this is a huge controversy out there. And so we're going to get into this more and deeper tomorrow night as we start looking a little deeper into Jesus, Potter, Harry, Christ, and the fascinating overlaps between Jesus and Harry Potter as literary characters. So, folks, you know what? This is it. We're out. So I just want to say, live long and prosper.
Are you looking for a really awesome and amazing graphic designer? How about an illustrator or a photographer? This is Rainey Roberts, and I wanted to tell you how you can get my designer, illustrator husband, Scotty Roberts, to work for you on your project. Do you have an awesome self-published book but no cover, or even worse, a cover that really sucks? Do you need a kick-ass logo for your company or some f***ing awesome graphic designs for your ads or website? Then get in touch with my husband for the best f***ing awesome kick-ass design and illustration. He knows his stuff, and he's been at this for more years than I've been alive. Go to ScottAllenRoberts.com. That's Scott with 2 T's, ALANROBERTS.com to take a look at his online portfolio of work, or call 651-468-8115. Now go out and kick some ass with some kick-ass graphic design.
Hire my dad so he can take me to Disneyland.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.